Over here on this channel a little while back, we focused on one of MLB's most exciting foreign games in the 2019 London series. But what might be forgotten is that, just 2 years later, MLB had one of its most exciting domestic games this century in the last place anyone would expect. This is heaven. Oh wait, no, I mixed myself up, sorry. No, this is Iowa. And this town right here, this is Dyersville. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what I'm about to talk about, you're probably asking, why are we talking about a farm town in Iowa with a population of 5,000 and is the home of the National Farm Toy Museum, which is a real thing, by the way. And what does this have to do with baseball? Believe me, I'd be asking the same question too, but this spot in Iowa, this is hallowed baseball ground because here is the home of the Field of Dreams, the filming location for probably a top 3 baseball movie of all time, and the 1989 classic of the same name, Field of Dreams. Now, I'm not going to sit here and review and recap and wax poetic about Field of Dreams. Even most baseball casuals know what the movie is about. But if you don't, please go watch the movie and then come back here. You won't regret it, I promise. MLB had originally planned to ring in the new decade with a Field of Dreams game to take place on August 13th, 2020. Then COVID happened. Enough said. The game was then rescheduled for August 12th, 2021. In the 2020 edition, the White Sox were originally going to face the Cardinals after the Yankees pulled out of the game, but when 2021 rolled around, the Yankees were reinstated as the rightful opponents for the White Sox. In order to preserve the movie site and to fit MLB standards, a new 8,000 capacity stadium was built just 500 feet from the original site and was connected via paths in the corn. Seating was only behind home plate and along the baselines, while the outfield was all corn and an old-style scoreboard out in right field with scorers wearing 1920s era clothing. As the lights came on and the day dimmed, Kevin Costner came onto the field and started the magic that would bless us on this day. Thanking MLB for keeping their promise of bringing the first Major League game to Iowa and honoring the legacy of his movie, the familiar themes swelled as we saw White Sox and Yankees players emerging from the corn and right center, lining up to take their places on the diamond. When the players stood at a rest, Kevin asked the question,
"Is this heaven?"
When the crowd shouted back that it was indeed Iowa, we were officially underway. Lance Lynn took the hill for an absolutely surging White Sox team as they looked to improve their record to 68-48 and go 20 games above 500. Gosh, you guys remember when Tony La Russa's corpse made the White Sox look like an actual legitimate baseball team for a second there? What a time to be alive. Lynn fires a ball at DJ LeMahieu, which was called by Iowa native Pat Hoberg behind the plate. Speaking of Pat Hoberg real quick, shoutouts to him for being the anti-Angel Hernandez because this is the guy who called that umpire perfect game back in 2022. After LeMahieu singles, Lynn settles in to strike out Aaron Judge, Brett Gardner appreciation moment by the way, love Brett Gardner, and gets Joey Gallo to fly out. Andrew Heaney for New York would not be as fortunate, as with 2 outs he surrendered a straight laser over the left field wall to Jose Abreu, making it 1-0 Sox and helping usher in another Joe Buck
back at the wall, it is gone!
Drinking game edition. The second passed quietly for both pitchers, while Lynn ran into some trouble in the third as after putting 2 on, the honorable judge announced himself to Iowa with a moonshot right into the right field corn, making the game 3-1. Lynn didn't have to worry for too long, as Heaney would give up a walk to start the inning, and then with 1 out, Tim Anderson, remember when he was actually good, by the way, doubles him home. With 2 outs now, but 2 on, Heaney surrenders yet another home run to the right field corn as Eloy Jimenez gives the Sox a 5-3 lead. New York's pitching woes continued as in the next inning, a one Sebi Zavala goes deep with a 2-run shot to continue pounding the Yankees and feeding that corn in right field. Lynn continued to deal into the 6th inning, where he then proceeds to have Gardner take him deep to right field again, cutting the deficit. Lynn was pulled shortly after putting 2 runners on, but Chicago was able to hold the lead and get out of the inning. The game went silent for the next few innings, with both Chicago and New York's pitchers settling down. The game seemed to be crawling to a slow end after its magical beginnings, but, as it turns out, the Fields of Iowa had one magical inning still left to give us. Down 3 runs heading into the top of the 9th, the Yankees were able to put a man on, only to fall to 2 outs in short succession. In steps Aaron Judge, who takes ball 1 and ball 2 high, almost reminiscent of the pitches Archie Graham took in the movie. He fouls off yet another high pitch, but then he gets the exact ball he needed, sailing one into right field yet again, putting the Yankees within 2 runs and delivering his second home run of the day. The next batter is Joey Gallo, who takes a 5-pitch walk, to then bring up Giancarlo Stanton, the last person, besides Aaron Judge, who you'd want to face in this situation to close out a game. Pitcher Liam Hendricks caves to the pressure and serves up a beauty for Stanton to rock as this one flies to, actually not right field shockingly enough, giving the Yankees their first lead since the 3rd inning. With the run in hand, all the Yankees have to do is get 3 outs in the 9th, and they will add to their legacy being the first major league team to win in the state of Iowa. New York would get their first out on a ground out, but they faltered by giving up a walk to Sevi Zavala. In steps Tim Anderson, and on the next pitch, we got what the people came for miles to see, the true ending this baseball game deserved and the best ending you could ask for.
Anderson hits it in the air to right, back at the wall, and the White Sox win it!
And with that, it was over. The players faded back into the cornfield and headed back to their respective ballparks. The general reaction by the public not only to the game but to the event itself was overwhelmingly positive, garnering 5.9 million viewers on Fox, making it the most watched regular season game since 2005. White Sox radio announcer Len Casper said it best when he said it this way about the game. "I'm not really sure MLB could have done an event better than the Field of Dreams game. Yes, the game was bonkers and the finish was Oscar-worthy, but the entire thing, the scenery, the park, the weather, the people involved, the vibe, it was just perfect. Unforgettable experience." In terms of subjectivity, to us on this channel at least, this is probably the greatest regular season game played this century on American soil. Everyone will have different opinions on this take, but this is one of the few non-playoff games we've seen this century where we lean back and realize we just witnessed an all-time classic game, with classic maybe not even doing it justice considering the magnitude of the event. We witnessed history that day with the White Sox and Yankees, truly bringing some heaven to Iowa. But now, I want to take this video in a more personal note, if you will. So, The Field of Dreams is probably my dad's favorite movie, not named Star Wars, and it's the one movie that makes him cry. It's the one movie that he can't get through on his own. And just recently, my dad lost his father, my grandfather. And so we decided that we would go up to Dyersville because we live only an hour and a half away from this hallowed historic site that we somehow hadn't visited before. And we said, you know what, we're going to go up there, we're going to go see a site, and we're going to go have a catch as father and son. And so we came into Dyersville, and really, I'm telling you, there is nothing there. It's like I said previously in the video, there's 5,000 people there. There's a school, couple buildings, a church, a McDonald's, a Family Dollar, Dollar Tree combination, the greatest of all the combinations. But as we were driving through town and we go and we see, the movie site, there's just something magical about it. It makes baseball more intimate for everyone who experiences it and who goes there. And as we pulled up, there was lots of people there. There was little kids, there was old people, there was college-age kids, middle-aged kids. All these kinds of people were coming together for the one thing that brought them in common: baseball. People were coming. People were still coming. This was 35 years ago, as of the recording of this video, that the movie was made. And people were still coming to go play on the field, to go have a catch with their dad, to see the house, to see the barn. We went partially to see where the Major League Stadium was built. Unfortunately, we came right as the corn had been planted, so the corn wasn't up. You couldn't see any of the iconic corn, but it was still there, just like it was 35 years ago, almost completely untouched, and you could experience it for yourself. So my dad and I, we went to the outfield, we threw a couple balls. We went to the pitcher's mound, threw a couple balls there. We ran some of the bases. We got to talk to a guy impersonating a White Sox player from the 1920s. We saw fans from all over the place. We had people in Cleveland, now Guardians, formerly Indians clothes, people in Toronto Blue Jays shirts, Cubs shirts. We were wearing our Cardinals shirts. Everyone was there just because of what baseball means to them and how baseball has affected their lives. Baseball has been a part of my life for pretty much all my life. I started watching baseball full time in 2011 when I was 6 years old. And ever since then, I have slept, and breathed baseball. But to be here at this site with my dad made me feel something in baseball I don't think I've ever felt before, and I don't think I'll ever feel ever again. Truly, I don't know. And it's hard to put into the words of this because I'm going off script to talk about this, but I think that everyone, if they have the opportunity, should go to Dyersville, Iowa, because it's so far out of the way. It's the last place you'd expect for there to be a massive part of baseball lore, but it's right there. Everyone should go to Dyersville, Iowa. Go to the Field of Dreams, and if you can, go have a catch with your dad. It is the most emotional you will ever feel, and you will never feel more connected to baseball than you do standing right there on the Field of Dreams. So thank you very much for watching this video. I wanted to recap the game, but I also wanted to talk about just an incredible experience that I was able to have and what this game, the Field of Dreams game, but also baseball and the Field of Dreams itself means to me and what surely it means to other people. In the comments below, please tell me your greatest baseball memories and what you guys have. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And I want to personally dedicate this video to my late grandfather, the Reverend Chester Wayne Keene, who we went out and we had a catch in honor of him on the Field of Dreams in Dyersville, Iowa. I love you, Grandpa.
Is this heaven?
It's Iowa.
Iowa?
Yeah.
Could have sworn it was heaven.